Thank you to NordVPN for sponsoring this video. Go to nordvpn.com/WheezyWaiter and get a huge discount plus 4 months free. Thank you. I already said thank you. Okay, let's start the video. I did it. I figured out how to not be addicted to Twitter anymore. I can't believe it. I didn't even expect this to happen. It was kind of by accident. I was trying to reduce my Twitter time, but the method just made me not want to go back to Twitter at all. I'm going to share it with you, and you can apply it to any social media. So this is the story all about how my life got flipped, turned upside down, and I'd like to take a... Just sit right there and I'll tell you how I got over my addiction to Twitter. That's French for Twitter, obviously. Twitter, which is what they used to call X. Now, regardless of your opinion of that incredibly stupid brand change that is objectively bad, this is not about how Elon Musk took over Twitter and made Twitter worse. Irrelevant, because Twitter was addictive and making my life worse before he took over. That's interesting because 2 years ago, I made a video about why I like Twitter and listed all the reasons it was good. There are reasons that it's good. That's what makes it hard to quit! But to be clear, I'm not actually quitting Twitter entirely. I will go back into it once in a while to check things very quickly. No doom scrolling, no staying. Much like when I go shopping at a department store. Go get what I want, leave quick. Don't check the video game section. Don't check the beard grooming product. Don't check for mesh transparent tops. You're not ready yet. Just a few more workouts.
Why aren't you quitting Twitter entirely, WheezyWaiter?
Because as I said, there are good things about Twitter, which I will explain in the section of the video I shall call Twitter's Strangelove, or how I thought Twitter was awesome at first, but then it became a post-apocalyptic tragedy. It was an innocent time back in the late aughts. I was in my late 20s. This new thing called Twitter emerged, and my first reaction was, what the f? But then I posted my first tweet and I realized this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. No obligation to post some long, dumb article. In fact, you are supposed to post a short, dumb statement and then people reply with their own short, dumb statements. I was already posting meaningless videos over on YouTube and now there was another place to post meaningless stuff. It was fun and stupid. Everything I wanted at the time. But as the years went on and the blue check mark became a thing people wanted and the internet went from an innocent, safe cubbyhole to escape reality to actual reality because everyone was on there trying to get attention. The algorithm game was finally afoot, and that foot kicked the ass of innocence right off the internet. But it didn't kick Twitter out of my heart yet. It became the place I got news, learned what my friends were doing, the ones who were on Twitter, and it was how I contacted other YouTube colleagues who I would otherwise never be able to meet. Because what am I going to do? Call them? Email? Comment on their videos? Facebook? Instagram? Okay, there are a lot of options, but Twitter was the easiest. Still is. I just contacted Patrick Willems a little while ago and I interviewed him for an upcoming video that I don't know, whenever I get around to it, about getting into comic books, which I had never done up until like several months ago. And now I've read a bunch of comics and I love it. Currently reading these great ones, and I've read all of these. Sure. Oh, and by the way, I partially learned which ones to read from you on Twitter. Point is, it's very useful for me to find people to interview and stuff. But a sinister force was emerging. The Doomscroll. Because everyone in the world became perpetually online became the world. And the world is sometimes full of doom. And because of the Doomscroll, after a binge on Twitter, I feel bad. The most common types of tweets on there no longer are random silliness, but hot takes, critiques, attempts to change your mind, tweets with an agenda. Not to mention the aggravating replies to all of the things, reminding me about how many horrible people there are in the world. If I'm just constantly taking that in all the time, I'm gonna have a skewed version of the world, because that is not everybody in the world. In fact, Twitter has fewer people on it than many of the social medias. And I also know from my experience making YouTube videos that a very small percentage of people actually comment versus how many people view. So that means you are already in the minority if you decide to comment. The majority of the world is non-commenters. Lurkers. You know, a lot of them are probably not horrible people. I guess depending on how you lurk. I like to lurk like this. That's not great. But my point is, you're already in the minority if you're a commenter, and you're more likely to comment if you actually have a strong opinion. So you're mostly gonna get strong opinions. And if I'm on there all the time, I'm experiencing way too many strong opinions, and I am losing balanced thought that I think the majority of people have in the world. That's not to say there aren't still good, hilarious, fun things on Twitter and legitimate uses for it. But I'm going to take all of those in a whole lot less. Here's how I did it. In a section I will call How Craig Got His Groove Back. By groove, I mean not being on Twitter as much. Yes, China and I did a month of no internet, and we did a month of no social media for a different video. Those were extreme quittings that didn't really take. It didn't take long for us to return back to our disgusting internet selves. I also dumbed down my smartphone for an entire entire year, didn't use Twitter on my phone, but I did still use it on the computer. It may have caused me to go to my computer more often, to be honest with you. Oh my god, I'm being so honest right now. This used to be a silent autofocus. Hear that? This used to be a silent autofocus. This used to be my childhood dream. Then there were times where I just wanted to use Twitter less often, so I would delete the app on my phone. And then eventually I'd just go to the browser on my phone, and then I'd go back to Twitter. Here's what I did differently this time. Nothing revolutionary, but for some reason, it's working like magic. Here, step into my office. Hey look, I'm editing this video as I shoot. Now this is only for a Mac and an iPhone because Steve Jobs is my daddy, but I'm sure there's something similar on other stuff. Go into System Settings, Screen Time, Content, and Privacy. Then you go into Content Restrictions, Access to Web Content. It'll be on Unrestricted Access. You go to Limit Adult Websites. Unfortunately, I don't know of a way to do this without eliminating all of the dirty, but we'll just live with it, okay? Go to Customize, click the plus button, and you add the websites you want to block. I only block Twitter because I don't really go to the other ones. I still go to YouTube, but it doesn't suck me in the way Twitter does. If you have a problem with YouTube, it's not that bad. Just keep watching my videos. Now, in the browser, it won't let me go to Twitter or X or whatever bullshit. Oh yeah, and if you want to bring back some of the dirty, you can put them in the allowed section, you filthy animal. Very simple. You just block it. But what's different is I'm not completely quitting it because on my phone, I do something else. Not a sponsor. I got this app called Refocus, and in it, I block the New York Times Games app and the Twitter app from midnight till 4 p.m. So that way, all day long, Twitter is blocked on my browser on my phone and on my computer and the app. But then, for a little bit of time at the end of the day, I can go into Twitter if I want. Because it's blocked on the browser, I have circumvented my ability to just go into the browser instead of the app. And because I can still go into it at a certain time, I'm not as tempted to do it earlier on in the day. That was the thinking anyway, but what actually happened is I'm not going into it at all. At the end of the day, I don't even want to. I still go back into the New York Times Games app because I loves me some Spelling Bee, Connections, and Wordle. Occasionally Sudoku and crossword. But I have no desire most days to go into Twitter unless I specifically have to ask you people for something, or if I think of something really funny to say that I just have to say, which turns out it doesn't really happen. It also turns out I don't really need to know anything that's happening on Twitter. I have gotten a free trial of the Apple News app, so I still get news thrown in my face when I want it, but it's not nearly as painful, and I actually read full articles a lot more, and I stay informed with other newsletters that I get. It's just a much more comfortable way of getting information without all the toxicity. That said, I still think Twitter has value. All of those hot takes and people with agendas, sometimes you want a counter opinion to the mainstream news that's happening. Sometimes real-time updates via video and live stream on Twitter is useful. But I would bet out of all time on Twitter, the percentage of times it's useful is probably microscopic between my skin here because, molecules don't actually touch when you do this. I'm not sure why it worked so well this time. I think because of the total block on the browser from laptop to phone, the not complete quitting so that I can still go back in. I've just allowed myself a little window, which maybe quells the urge. Also, the year of dumbing down my smartphone primed me for just being able to sit with my thoughts instead of going at Twitter all the time, and having viable alternatives to get information so that I can still feel informed. Also, I've been getting into comic books. I have those to read. So if there were times where I had the urge to go onto Twitter, I would grab a comic book and read instead. It was not my intention to actually not even want to go to Twitter anymore, and it's amazing that it's happening, and I will say I feel less stress. Everything feels less urgent. When I read a news article, I don't immediately go to everyone else's extreme opinions. I sit there and think about it myself and decide for myself what I think with the information I have. Maybe I'll go find out more information if I'm really curious, but most of the time, I just let it pass and enjoy my life. I'll still occasionally go to YouTube or Reddit. Reddit usually when I have something specific that I want to see what people are talking about. I never go to Facebook or Instagram. Tumblr. None of those things pull me in like Twitter did. And now nothing does. And I can just float with my thoughts like a space baby at the center of the universe. Maybe I just subconsciously was ready to quit and I didn't know it yet, and that was also why it was easy. Maybe for you it might not be so easy. This really worked for me, and life is good. And also I realize probably most of you don't even use Twitter, but you probably use other things, and I hope you don't block my YouTube channel. But you know what, actually, I understand if you do. You know what else you can block? Brigands and marauders out there from stealing your crap online by using NordVPN. What's a VPN? A virtual private Nintendo. A very pretty Nerf gun. No, virtual private network. Basically, Nord tells the internet that you are somewhere else than where you are so that people don't get your stuff. It's like traveling without traveling. I'm in Australia. Put another shrimp on the Barbie. Look at me in England. God save the king. Is that what we say now? I like being able to watch things in other places that I'm not allowed to watch. Like I'm in the middle of Shogun right now, but what if I travel to Europe and it's Shogun? Pop on Nord, tell it I'm at home. Bada bing, bada swing. You know what I'm saying? It's like a samurai swings a sword, like the Shogun. You ever get a notification that someone's trying to log into one of your accounts? You ever work in coffee shops and share Wi-Fi with a bunch of jerks? Well, Nord can protect you. My daughter's getting older. She's using the iPad more. I gotta protect her. But if you want the best deal for Nord, you're gonna have to go through me. Or this URL, nordvpn.com/WheezyWaiter. Sign up for a 2-year plan and you get a huge discount plus 4 free months. And a 30-day money-back guarantee if you go to nordvpn.com/WheezyWaiter. Huge discount, 4 additional free months, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. It's almost too wheezy. Hey. Oh, I want to click away to a different country right now. That is all. Hopefully this helped inspire you maybe to block some of those things that you are on too much. Sometimes you need an intervention, a self-intervention of blocking stuff. I don't know. YouTube thinks you'll like that video. My previous video is China and I asking some deep questions that you guys asked us. You can support me at Patreon right there. I do monthly live streams and monthly minute-long banjo faces. This is a banjo face, but I do that for a minute. And I'll also give you updates about what I'm doing and stuff. And you can subscribe right there, but don't get addicted.